very good afternoon and welcome back to Nove Mesto in the Czech Republic. Just 2 days of the Biathlon World Championships remaining. Just one race on the card today. That, of course, is the men's relay. The moment of truth. The last team event of these championships. Norway with 6 golds already. France, of course, with 1, and the Ukraine with 1. Will any other nation be able to get onto the medal table today? The history in the relay, Mike, says it's going to be all about Russia, Germany and Norway, who have dominated since the relay started back in '66. Finland have had 1 victory in that time, the Italians have had 2, and the French have had 1 back in 2001. No other nation has won the men's relay.
It's incredible. The Czech Republic today will be hoping that they can each of the 4 athletes can have their best possible day on the skis and on the range, but they wouldn't want to miss more than, say, 2 targets, the Czech team, if they want to get themselves on the podium.
So a steady pace being set by Anton Shapulin on the right of your screen. Simon Eder of Austria. Very good start from Eder. He wanted to be in control of this one. Just behind him we have Simon Foucault of France. The Americans tucked back in 4th, 5th place. Oleinen Bjorndalen is in there somewhere. The Norwegians wearing bib number 3. France have bib 1 because they've had the best World Cup results so far this year. But it's very tight at the top. France have 202 points from the 4 relays. Russia have 202 points, but only 1 win as opposed to France's 2, and Norway all the way back on 199, so only 3 points separating the top 3 teams, and that probably our best guide to form, although you have to look at the major championships because so many of the other teams don't always put in a complete team for the World Cup.
And that's true, and that was the case for Norway when they finished, as you said, down in 13th. Was that was after Christmas, I think, in Oberhof. Antholz, of course. So just coming into the final World Cup before here. You mentioned all the past majors. When you look back to the Olympic Games in Vancouver, it was Norway. Hantimann ceased the World Championships after the Olympics. It was Norway. And again last year, it was Norway. And 3 of the same guys, of course, Bjorndalen, Bø, Svensson, each time have been in those relay teams.
Yeah, Norway haven't been beaten in this event for a long time. 2009, of course, all the way through to last year in Ruhpolding, and that includes the Olympic Games. Bergman deciding the pace is a little slow on the far side for Sweden, but look at this, it's absolutely chock-a-block as they come up to the high point. 1 kilometre completed. It's a 2.5 kilometre loop, remember, 3 times round to make up the 7.5 Ks, and it's going to be that last lap that is absolutely crucial. Now, Mike, let's have a look at the minor nations. Sweden don't fall into that category, but they've never won it, so today could be a day. They have won World Cups. Ukraine, have they got a chance?
They've got, I think, just a slim chance. When you look at their individual performances here, well, Semenov, who's going first, he's had only a 41st position and a 45th position. That's not really the form that can carry your team onto the podium, but the pace here, Patrick, is so comfortable that it's certainly not going to damage anybody into the range first time.
And will Russia be thinking, my goodness, we've wasted Anton Shapulin on the first leg? The Norwegians have got Bjorndalen. I think they'll be a bit nervous about Bjorndalen's shooting because it's not been his normal standard this season. And also the teams further down the order, the Czech Republic, for instance, who put their best, as they did in the women's race yesterday, put their best 1 and 2, with Sukup going 3. So it slowly gets a little bit weaker, the Czech team.
It does, and they've brought in, of course, Mikkel Kirchmarsch to take the last leg, and that's in place of Vitek. It was going to be Vitek, but well, Andre Rybar must have thought that Vitek was a little unsafe. He showed that in the stand shooting in his races here. So Kirchmarsch has been brought in for that all-important anchor leg.
Well, it's fairly quick on the downhill, as you can see. Not so bad on the first lap. By the time they get to the 3rd, we could see 1 or 2 falls. All about concentration, and the snow underfoot is firm, and there are 1 or 2 icy spots, so you've got to be very, very careful on those descents. France going to the front. Simon Foucault deciding he wants to do a little bit of work, string the field out just a little. Great Britain are in action today. They're wearing bib 22. Jackson takes the first leg for Great Britain. Kevin Kane on the second, Pete Beyer, then Marcel Leponder on the anchor leg. I guess once again it's all about avoiding being looped or lapped, but that's going to be a very tough task.
Well, Jackson, Kane, Beyer and Leponder, they are all on their day very good shots. If we get it together today with, say, 1 or 2 spares each at the most, hopefully the British team have a chance to make it into the top 20, 19th, possibly 18th on their best possibility. I really hope it goes well on the shooting range.
Well, what are the chances of them all having a good day together? Because, to be honest, Mike, if you look over the season, the shooting record has not been that good. Jackson struggled. He's skiing fantastic, but he just hasn't been shooting steady.
No, and that was, sadly, can't deny it, that was the case in the individual race, 2 days ago. It just didn't happen. And sometimes when you're trying so hard to make it happen in biathlon, it goes the other way. You have to be relaxed. You have to just let it flow without that tension. But this is comfortable coming in for the first shoot, Patrick. As comfortable as it gets in international or world championships biathlon.
Yeah, a lot of the teams have been training around the track a lot harder than this to come in and shoot, so they should all have their pulses well under control. Just looking at the wind conditions, there's a little breeze in the middle of the range, and actually that goes all the way up to the far end. Those in lanes 20 down to 30 will have virtually no wind whatsoever. The rest have to be aware that there is just a gentle breeze blowing from left to right. Will we see any adjustments? I don't think so, because it's similar conditions to those we had earlier on, although as I say that, a gust comes through just to stir the flags a little. So France in lane 1, Russia 2, Norway 3, Austria with Simonada in 4. He will be quick. Who will strike first? Norway with Oleine and Bjorn Dahlen, and he's clean at the moment. They had a dreadful start in the women's relay yesterday, but came through to win it. 4 out of 4 for Austria, 4 out of 4 for Norway. Number 5 has gone wide. France go clear. Simon Foucault just taking his time. Anton Chapulin gets it down. One mistake from Bjorn Dahlen, 6 or 7 seconds thrown away. Certainly not critical at this stage. What has happened to Carl-Johan Bergman of Sweden?
Well, Bergman again, the Swedes 2 spare rounds. Jacko, he needs to get these 2 targets remaining with the 2 shots remaining. That means 3 spares. He's got 1 shot, 1 target left. What a pity to lose that amount of time and knocking these central targets down.
Now we're going to see where Bjorn Dahlen's shot went. The first 2 were fairly central. I think it was number 3 and number 4 that went wide. Just low. All the rounds a little bit low. Mike, is that something that will be of a concern to Anderson on the scope?
Well, the flag was dropping down from left to right. I think it was an error there from Bjorn Dahlen, but certainly better than last year where he was on the penalty loop in this race.
All the big names still there after the first shoot, and the French have got off to a very, very good start. Austria, France and Russia were the first 3 teams out of the stadium after the first shoot completed on this first leg of the men's 4 by 7.5. A very good afternoon to you if you have just joined us here in Nove, Mesto. This is the last team event of the championships, and an opportunity for those teams that haven't tasted any success so far to turn things around. Favourites, Mike, with the bookies, France and Norway seem to be inseparable, largely because they both have such strong anchor legs. But the French have got to make sure they get to that second leg in touch with the leaders.
They have. It's the pace still hasn't picked up. I'm looking at the timings for this 2.5 kilometre track, Patrick, in the pursuit competition. And Martin Foucault had the fastest time into the range. And that was 5 minutes 31. Today they came in at about 5:59. So 30 seconds is so much easier. It's just beginning to pick up now. Simon Foucault is saying this is too slow. Let's pump this up. Too many teams close together.
10 of the top 11 teams shot the perfect score on the prone. Big teams that missed, well, Norway, you'll remember, the Swedes missed 2 with Carl-Johan Bergman. He then found himself some 20 seconds behind, having been in that leading pack. So it shows you how expensive a missed target is. It's 0.9 to 1% in the men's race.
And this relatively slow pace, it's allowed Karl Johan to go from 20 seconds deficit to now only 11 seconds. There, Simon Fourcade now getting agitated, and there he picks the pace up immediately from getting tripped up a couple of times.
Yeah, Ole Einar Bjorndalen behind him, the man coming up behind his skis. We saw a little bit of needle between Dorin and Berger yesterday, and I suspect we'll see a bit more today, because although the tracks are fantastic here in Nove Mesto, the racing is very close contact at the moment.
Pleased to say further back down, Lee Jackson, Steely Jackson, he left the range in 45 behind. He's hanging on to that pace, so he's skiing level pacing with the best and moved up 3 positions.
Bjorndalen back in front. Is he going to get his 50th championship medal today? He's tried so hard, Mike. You have to give Bjorndalen credit. He's missed most of the season, not been fit, or he's been unwell, but he then decided that all his focus would go on to these championships, and he came very, very close in that sprint event. One shot, essentially.
1 millimetre, essentially, yeah. When he missed that one shot in the sprint race, he was 19 seconds off the gold medal on that day, so he's definitely got the form. It's still, I can't believe how easy this is. I've never seen really at a World Championships the first leg pace. I know they're all exhausted. Most of the athletes here have taken part in each of the races. It's as if the race is going to start after the stand shoot, the real race.
5 targets down with 6 rounds will still be good enough to keep you in the running, I think. But once they come out of the range for this second time, there will be a definite acceleration, because they've got time to make up. They should all have energy in the bag after 2 fairly conservative laps. Ole Einar Bjorndalen it is, leading the way down the stadium, and no one's going to overtake him now. Somewhat of an unwritten rule, but first into the firing point gets lane number 1. Simon Fourcade just behind him, and Germany, still competitive Germany. There's a lot at stake for them. Ada shooting left-handed on mat number 3 next to Schlesinger of the Czech Republic.
There's no wind at all to speak of. It's as if they've come in much easier than their normal race feeling. I've never seen so many shots missed in perfect conditions.
Yeah, no surprise to see Simon Ada shooting clear. I think the pressure already starting to show. Germany will be delighted that they have gone clean. That's good shooting from Simon Schemp, and he burned back on the second leg. Norway wasting time.